Good morning, everyone. We are here in our virtual business interaction between the state of Maharashtra, Peru, and Bolivia. This webinar is going to be the first event organized by the Embassy of India in association with the Maharashtra Industrial Development Corporation, MIDC. The Maharashtra Chambers of Commerce, Industry and Agriculture, MCCIA, the Federation of Indian Chambers of Commerce and Industry, FICCI, and the Indian Chambers of Commerce in Peru, INCHAM. It is very important to announce that engineering goods, textiles, and pharmaceutical sectors of export from India to Peru and Bolivia will be focusedly, mainly in addition to other areas of potential. We are very great to announce that we are having here today to the Ambassador, Mr. Mandarapu Subjaradu, Ambassador of India to Peru and Bolivia. Welcome, Mr. Ambassador.
Please unmute on mute.
You are mute. Mr. Ambassador, thank you.
Gracias, Gabriela. Dr. Ambalagan, CEO of MIDC, Sri Lalit Candy, President of MACCIA, Mr. Rohit Rao, President of INCHAM, Mr. Gajendra Badgujar, Director of FICCI, Mr. Manpreet Singh from MACCIA, participants from Maharashtra, Peru and Bolivia, friends, ladies and gentlemen, namaskar, buenos dias. I welcome you all to this business session, which is aimed at showcasing the Indian state of Maharashtra and understanding the trade and business opportunities in Peru and Bolivia. In this context, the involvement of Maharashtra Industrial Development Corporation, Maharashtra Chamber of Commerce, Industry and Agriculture, Federation of Indian Chambers of Commerce and Industry, as well as INCHAM, the Indian Chamber of Commerce in Peru, makes this interaction more appropriate and perhaps beneficial. We appreciate their cooperation, time and effort. Embassy of India in Lima also wishes to thank exporters, industry and business representatives from Maharashtra, importers, business and industry participants from Peru and Bolivia.
Les doy una cordial bienvenida a esta sesión de negocios que tiene como objetivo presentar al Estado indio de Maharashtra, entender así las oportunidades comerciales y de negocios entre Perú y Bolivia. En este contexto, la participación de la Corporación de Desarrollo Industrial de Maharashtra, la Cámara de Comercio, Industria y Agricultura de Maharashtra, la Federación de Cámaras de Comercio e Industria de la India, así como de la INCHAM, la Cámara de Comercio de la India en Perú, hace que esta interacción sea más precisa y quizás más beneficiosa. Agradecemos su cooperación, tiempo y esfuerzo. La Embajada de la India en Lima también desea agradecer a los exportadores, representantes de la industria y de los negocios de Maharashtra, a los importadores de los negocios y a los participantes de la industria en Perú y Bolivia.
I am particularly happy that Maharashtra is the first state in the Embassy's schedule of state-focused activities this year. It is so because of Maharashtra's preeminent position as the economic powerhouse of India and its ability to offer enormous avenues to enhance India's economic and commercial engagement with Peru and Bolivia across diverse sectors of relevance.
Estoy particularmente contento de que sea Maharashtra el primer estado en el programa de actividades centradas en los estados de India que está organizando la embajada en este año. Debido a esto, debido a la posición preeminente de Maharashtra como una potencia económica en India y su capacidad de ofrecer enormes vías para mejorar el compromiso económico y comercial de la India con Perú y Bolivia a través de diversos sectores de relevancia.
As a home to India's largest container port and with several air and surface networks to markets, connectivity is Maharashtra's strength. Its capital, Mumbai, is the financial nerve center of India. Besides being the automobile manufacturing hub of India, Maharashtra has well-established industry in engineering goods, textiles, pharmaceuticals, biotechnology, IT and IT-enabled services, chemicals, textiles, food processing, electronics, oil and gas, food and agro processing, gems and jewelry, leather, banking, financial services, and insurance, etc. Maharashtra also attracts close to 30% of India's total inflows of foreign direct investment.
Como sede del mayor puerto de contenedores de India y con varias redes aéreas y de superficies en los mercados, la conectividad es el punto fuerte de Maharashtra. Su capital, Bombay, es el centro neurálgico financiero de India. Además de ser el centro de fabricación de automóviles de India, Maharashtra cuenta con una industria bien establecida que abarca toda una serie de sectores como los bienes de ingeniería, el área textil, el área farmacéutica, de biotecnología, tecnologías de la información, químicos, textiles, transformación de alimentos, el área de electrónica, el de petróleo, gas, transformación de alimentos y productos agrícolas, el de piedras preciosas y joyería, cuero, el sector bancario, el de los servicios financieros, el de los seguros, etc. Maharashtra así atrae cerca del 30% de las entradas totales de inversión extranjera directa de India.
The economies of Peru and Bolivia are highly promising given their rich mineral and natural resources. Their leading sectors, namely mining, natural gas, agriculture, textiles, chemicals, and manufacturing, need quality and affordable inputs. Our long-standing friendly ties with Peru and Bolivia are driven by growing trade and business cooperation. The complementary nature of economies offers scope for mutually rewarding partnerships.
Las economías de Perú y Bolivia son ambas muy prometedoras debido a sus ricos recursos minerales y naturales, como la minería, el gas natural, la agricultura, los textiles, los productos químicos y la industria manufacturera. Necesitan insumos de calidad y de precios asequibles. Nuestros antiguos lazos de amistad con Perú y Bolivia están impulsados por una creciente cooperación comercial y empresarial. La naturaleza complementaria de las economías ofrece un margen para las asociaciones mutuamente gratificantes.
For the first time, our exports to Peru have crossed the $1 billion mark after growing by 35% to over $1,101 million in the calendar year 2021. Our exports to Bolivia have also seen a double-digit growth at 12%. India is among the top 6 trading partners of Peru and the top 4 trading partners of Bolivia. However, there is much catch-up to do to reach the true potential.
Por primera vez, nuestras exportaciones a Perú han superado la barrera de los $1.000 millones tras crecer un 35% y así superar los $1.111 millones en el año calendario de 2021. Nuestras exportaciones a Bolivia también han experimentado un crecimiento de 2 dígitos con un 12%. India está entre los 6 principales socios comerciales de Perú y los 4 principales socios comerciales de Bolivia. Sin embargo, queda mucho por hacer para alcanzar el verdadero potencial.
Many in Peru and Bolivia are already familiar with Indian automobile products, especially the 2 and 3 wheelers. In fact, a large portion of these products come from Maharashtra. Peru imports engineering goods worth $18 billion globally. 95% of these imports are iron and steel, articles of iron and steel, mechanical appliances, electrical machinery, automobiles, and miscellaneous devices. India's average share is around 2%, while it is 5% in case of automobiles. Exporters can look at expanding share in $5.5 billion industrial machinery, $4 billion electrical machinery, $3.8 billion automobiles, $2.6 billion iron and steel and articles, and $1 billion scientific and medical devices, and $230 million tractors import markets in Peru.
Muchos en Perú y Bolivia conocen sobre los productos automovilísticos indios, principalmente los de 2 y 3 ruedas. Una gran parte de estos productos procede de Maharashtra. Perú importa bienes de ingeniería por un valor de $18.000 millones. El 95% de estas importaciones son de hierro y acero, artículos como aparatos mecánicos, maquinaria eléctrica, automóviles y dispositivos diversos. La cuota media de India es del 2%, mientras que es del 5% del caso de los automóviles. Los exportadores pueden buscar ampliar su cuota en el mercado de importación de maquinaria industrial por un valor de $5.500 millones, maquinaria eléctrica por un valor de $4.000 millones, automóviles por un valor de $3.800 millones, artículos de hierro y acero por un valor de $2.600 millones, dispositivos científicos y médicos por un valor de $1.000 millones y tractores por un valor de $230 millones en Perú.
On the other hand, Bolivia's engineering goods imports were $4.5 billion. Of these, mechanical appliances, automobiles, electrical appliances, iron and steel, and articles account for 77%. Our share in automobiles imports was 6%. This again highlights the need for greater efforts on the part of our exporters.
Por otro lado, las importaciones de bienes de ingeniería en Bolivia fueron de $4.500 millones. De ellos, los aparatos mecánicos, los automóviles, los aparatos eléctricos, de hierro y acero, estos artículos representaron el 77%. Nuestra participación en las importaciones de automóviles fue del 6%. Esto es un nuevo ejemplo de la necesidad de un mayor esfuerzo por parte de nuestros exportadores.
Textiles segment is another promising area for business cooperation. Global import of textiles by Peru is worth $2 billion and by Bolivia $190 million. India is the main supplier of cotton yarn to Peru. The quality yarn imported from India complements the Peruvian industry. As the second largest producer of cotton in India, Maharashtra can look at the opportunities in Peru. India is the second largest supplier of synthetic yarn, man-made fibers, articles of apparel and clothing could be focus products. Our current textile exports to Bolivia are negligible.
Los textiles son otra área prometedora para la cooperación empresarial. La importación global de textiles por parte de Perú tiene un valor aproximado en $2.000 millones y por parte de Bolivia en $190 millones. India es el principal proveedor de hilo de algodón para Perú. La calidad del hilo importado de India complementa las necesidades peruanas. Como segundo mayor productor de algodón de India, Maharashtra puede mirar las oportunidades que hay en Perú. India es el segundo mayor proveedor de hilo sintético. Las fibras sintéticas discontinuas, las prendas de vestir y la ropa podrían ser productos de interés. Nuestras actuales exportaciones textiles a Bolivia tienen un valor casi insignificante.
As in every other country, health is a priority area for Peru and Bolivia, and its importance has only gone up now. The total import value of medicines is $1,079 million in case of Peru and $238 million in respect of Bolivia. This does not include import of medical devices. At present, India is the largest supplier of pharmaceutical products to Bolivia and the second largest to Peru. There is still substantial scope for improving export of medicines, vaccines, and medical equipment. Since Maharashtra contributes 20% of India's total pharmaceutical output, this is an area of opportunity.
Como en cualquier otro país, la salud es un área prioritaria para Perú y Bolivia, y su importancia no ha hecho más que aumentar. El valor total de las importaciones en medicamentos es de $1.079 millones en el caso de Perú y de 238 millones en el caso de Bolivia. Esto no incluye la importación de dispositivos médicos. En la actualidad, India es el mayor proveedor de productos farmacéuticos a Bolivia y el segundo a Perú. Todavía hay así un margen importante para mejorar la exportación en medicamentos, vacunas y equipos médicos a estos países. Dado que Maharashtra aporta el 20% de la producción farmacéutica total de India, se trata de un área de gran oportunidad.
In conclusion, I wish to point out that a dedicated team at the embassy is ever willing to facilitate greater trade flows and business exchanges. Maharashtra exporters and firms are encouraged to share their product profiles and capabilities with our commerce wing for suitable dissemination. At the same time, I invite businesses and industry in Peru and Bolivia, as well as friends of India here, to approach the Embassy of India in Lima for any clarifications or sourcing requirements. We will make every attempt to connect you with a right partner in India. Let me take this opportunity to wish you more prosperous year ahead.
En conclusión, deseo informarles que un equipo especializado en la embajada está siempre dispuesto a facilitar mayores flujos comerciales e intercambios empresariales. Animamos a los exportadores y empresas de Maharashtra a compartir sus perfiles de productos y capacidades con nuestra área comercial para su adecuada difusión. Al mismo tiempo, invito a las empresas y a la industria en Perú y Bolivia a acercarse a la Embajada de India en Lima para resolver cualquier duda que tengan acerca de los requisitos de abastecimiento. Haremos todo lo posible para conectarlos con un socio adecuado en India. Permítanme aprovechar esta oportunidad para desearles un próspero año venidero.
Muchísimas gracias. Dhanyawad. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ambassador. It is very important to know about the opportunities you are offering in diverse areas of business. And of course, we are pretty sure that your whole team will be helping to everyone who will approach to your embassy and getting in connection with your team. Thank you so much. Now I will be introducing Dr. Ambalagan. Dr. Ambalagan will share with us 15 minutes. He has a bachelor degree of veterinary science. He got a master's degree in Dairy National Dairy Research Institute in Karnal, Haryana, as Indian Administrative Service in Maharashtra, Katra. He obtained a master's degree also and PhD from Pune University in Maharashtra as well. He has been in charge of many important companies since 2002 in Solapur, Karat, Nandurbar. He has been also the CEO in Maharashtra Industrial Development Corporation. He's a member, secretary, and CEO in Maharashtra Pollution Control Board. And now he has a position, a very important position as a CEO, Chief Executive Officer in Maharashtra Industrial Development Corporation. Welcome, Dr. Ambalagan. It is very important to know that our translator will be traducing all your presentations every time you stop your PowerPoint diagram. He won't stop you during your presentation. Thank you so much. You will have 15 minutes, please.
Thank you so much. I will give a extempore address only. A very warm good morning to everyone who have joined from Peru and Bolivia, and those friends who have joined from India. I extend my warm regards to the Indian ambassador in Bolivia and Peru, His Excellency Mr. M. Subbarayu, and thank his team for giving us this opportunity. And I extend my gratitude to Mr. Lalit Candy, Mr. Badugujar, and Mr. Rohit Rao, and all the friends who have joined from India, Peru, and Bolivia. On behalf of the government of Maharashtra, it is my privilege to represent our state, which is the largest state economy in the country.
Leo tu traducción.
Disculpe. Muy buenos días a todos los presentes. Extiendo mis más cordiales saludos al embajador de la India en Bolivia y Perú, el señor Subbarayu, y agradezco a su equipo por brindarnos esta oportunidad. En nombre del gobierno de Maharashtra, tengo el privilegio de presentar a nuestro estado, que es la economía estatal más grande del país y ha superado todas las métricas imaginables con respecto al desarrollo industrial.
The state's constant focus on policies and reforms has cemented its position as a resilient economy. In turn, guarding the trust our investors and partners have shown in us over the years. In addition to the state's industrial policy, which provides for fiscal incentives to trust sectors and sunrise sectors, the state has also implemented several sector-specific state policies.
El enfoque constante del Estado en políticas y reformas ha cimentado su posición como una economía resiliente, protegiendo a su vez la confianza que nuestros inversionistas y socios han mostrado en nosotros a lo largo de los años. Además de la política industrial del Estado de 2019, que ya prevé extensiones fiscales para impulsar los sectores y los sectores emergentes. El Estado también ha implementado varias políticas estatales específicas del sector como Maharashtra.
To name few, the Maharashtra Telecom and Infrastructure Policy, an Integrated Logistic Parks Policy, Textile Policy, and Electric Vehicles Policy, and also soon we will be getting the new IT and ITS policy. For several decades, the state has been an industrial powerhouse and market leader in various sectors, including textiles, pharmaceuticals, automobiles, and engineering, among others.
Un ejemplo son las políticas de infraestructura de telecomunicaciones, política de parques logísticos integrados de Maharashtra, política de textiles, política de vehículos eléctricos y pronto implementará una nueva política de tecnología e información. Durante varias décadas, el Estado ha sido líder industrial y de mercado en varios sectores, incluidos los textiles, la agricultura, los productos farmacéuticos y los automóviles, entre otros.
Our export infrastructure is one of the best in the country, and Maharashtra contributes over 20% to India's total exports. With a capacity to grow multifold, almost 40% of the merchandise exported is through Maharashtra, which speaks volumes about our infrastructure.
Nuestra infraestructura de exportación es una de las mejores del país, si no de Asia, y Maharashtra contribuye con más del 20% de las exportaciones totales de la India, con una capacidad de crecimiento múltiple. Casi el 40% de la mercancía exportada se realiza a través de Maharashtra, lo que dice mucho de nuestra infraestructura.
Maharashtra has been the leader in heavy engineering, pharma, and textile for decades. A testament to Maharashtra's pharma and healthcare ecosystem is that one of first COVID vaccines, Covishield, was developed and is being produced in Maharashtra.
Maharashtra ha sido líder en ingeniería pesada, farmacéutica y textiles durante décadas. Un testimonio del ecosistema farmacéutico y de atención médica de Maharashtra es que una de las primeras vacunas contra el COVID, Covishield, se desarrolló y se produce en Maharashtra.
Furthermore, we have in our state the entire textile industry and value chain from fiber to fashion. Maharashtra being one of the largest producers of cotton and Mumbai being the fashion capital of India.
Además, tenemos en nuestro estado toda la industria textil, desde la fibra hasta la moda. Maharashtra es uno de los mayores productores de algodón y Mumbai es la capital de la moda de la India.
MIDC is the premier investment promotion agency and it is also a special planning authority for the state of Maharashtra. It is also the largest industrial infrastructure development corporation in India, managing 2.25 lakh acres of industrial land.
MIDC, que es la Autoridad de Aprovisionamiento Especial Nodal y la Agencia de Promoción de Inversiones para el Estado de Maharashtra, es también la corporación de desarrollo de infraestructura industrial más grande de la India y administra 225,000 acres de suelo industrial.
As the nodal investment promotion agency, MIDC operates as a single point of contact for all the investor relations and investment.
Como agencia nodal de promoción de inversiones, MIDC opera como un único punto de contacto para todas las relaciones con los inversionistas y es responsable de administrar el ciclo de vida de las inversiones en el Estado desde el alcance hasta el cuidado posterior.
Even during these unprecedented times of pandemic, the state has remained resilient and sustained industrial growth and continues to offer a conducive environment for industrial development.
Incluso durante estos tiempos sin precedentes de la pandemia, el Estado se ha mantenido resistente y ha sostenido el crecimiento industrial y continúa ofreciendo un entorno propicio para el desarrollo industrial.
Under the leadership and guidance of our Honorable Chief Minister, Sir Uddhav Balasaheb Thackerayji, the government of Maharashtra has implemented economic recovery strategy in June 2020, Magnetic Maharashtra 2.0, which has been instrumental in sustaining Maharashtra's investment climate.
Del honorable ministro principal Uddhav Balasaheb, el gobierno de Maharashtra implementó la estrategia de recuperación económica en junio de 2020, Magnetic Maharashtra 2.0, que ha sido fundamental para mantener el clima de inversión de Maharashtra.
Under Magnetic Maharashtra 2.0, 98 MOUs worth over 26 billion US dollars were signed with the companies from around the world, which will potentially create employment opportunities for over 300,000 people. Investment intentions have been signed across various emerging fields, including EV, data center, solar, renewable energy, steel manufacturing, electronics, logistics, automobiles and electronic components, pharmaceuticals, biofuels and petrochemicals.
Bajo Magnetic Maharashtra 2.0, 98 MOU por valor de más de 26 billones de dólares se firmaron con empresas de todo el mundo, lo que potencialmente creará oportunidades de empleo para más de 300,000 personas. Se han firmado intenciones de inversión en varios campos emergentes, incluidos EV, data, solar, de renovación, electrónicos, farmacéuticos, entre otros.
Maharashtra has been the highest recipient of FDA, Foreign Direct Investment in India, historically and also in the last 2 years. When we look at the figures for like October 2019 to September 2021, 30 billion USD of FDA has been invested in Maharashtra, which is almost 30% of the total FDA flow in India.
Maharashtra ha sido el mayor receptor de IED en India. Históricamente, en los últimos 2 años, es decir, desde octubre de 2019 hasta septiembre de 2021, se han invertido más de 30,000 millones de dólares en IED en Maharashtra, que es casi el 30% del total del país.
Initiatives and reforms launched under Magnetic Maharashtra 2.0 in June 2020 have made a marked difference in augmenting industrial development driven by a digital and technological transformations alongside the state's ready built infra, sector specific built to suit offerings and key policy reforms.
Iniciativas lanzadas bajo Magnetic Maharashtra 2.0 en junio de 2020 han marcado una diferencia en el aumento del desarrollo industrial, impulsado por transformaciones digitales y tecnológicas, junto con la infraestructura lista para usar del Estado, ofertas de construcción a la medida específica del sector y reformas políticas clave.
The reforms include the plug-and-play infrastructure, where the state offers ready-to-move-in factory environment, complete with advanced utilities, affordable pricing structure, and sector-specific support.
Estos incluyen, 1. Las infraestructuras plug and play, donde el Estado ofrece un entorno de fábrica listo para moverse, completo con servicios públicos avanzados, estructura de precios asequibles y soporte específico del sector.
The second reform is like Mahaparvana, which literally means it's a master permit, which fast tracks industrial clearances and permissions.
Como segundo punto, el portal Mahaparvana, que acelera las autorizaciones y permisos industriales.
The third reform is like Mahajobs portal, which acts as an industry employment bureau and bridges the industry's human resource requirement with the skilled, semi-skilled, and unskilled youth across 17 sectors, spreading across 950 skill sets.
El portal Mahajobs, que actúa como una oficina de empleo de la industria y une los requisitos de recursos humanos de la industria con jóvenes calificados, semicalificados y no calificados en los diferentes sectores.
The fourth is the dedicated country desk and also the relationship managers for all the overseas investors who are from like Peru and Bolivia to boost bilateral ties and provide dedicated handholding of investors.
Punto 4. El escritorio de países dedicados para impulsar los lazos bilaterales y brindar apoyo exclusivo a los inversores, tanto como de Perú, Bolivia, entre otros países internacionales.
I'm also glad and excited to share that MIDC is currently gearing up for a new level of industrial infrastructure, focusing on needs of the Industry 4.0, robotics, Internet of Things, machine learning, so on.
A mí me complace compartir que MIDC actualmente se está preparando para un nuevo nivel de infraestructura industrial, centrándose en las necesidades de la industria 4.0.
Additionally, MIDC is also developing responsibly by focusing on sustainable development, and we are striving to achieve the carbon neutrality in the next 2 years, trying to put all our utilities on a solar power, like renewable power. And MIDC is also in the process of setting up a few major like solar parks for the industries.
Además, MIDC también se está desarrollando de manera responsable, centrándose en el desarrollo sostenible y nos esforzamos por lograr la neutralidad de carbono en los próximos 2 años, centrándose principalmente en lo que es la energía solar.
The state is also open to idea of country-specific clusters, which we have already done for a couple of European and like Asian countries. So we would love to host like both Peru and Bolivia in a major cluster of their choice, location of their choice. The state's development is also attributed to the bilateral cooperation and support received from our partner countries, which have trusted the government of Maharashtra over the many years. India and Maharashtra have been trusted partners for both the state of Bolivia and Republic of Peru, with major mineral imports from our countries.
El desarrollo del Estado también se atribuye a la cooperación bilateral y al apoyo recibido de nuestros países socios, quienes han confiado en el gobierno de Maharashtra durante muchos años. India y Maharashtra han sido socios de confianza tanto para el Estado de Bolivia como para la República del Perú, con importantes importaciones de minerales de sus países.
At the same time, we are home to several Latin American automobile, chemical, pharmaceutical, and food processing companies, which majorly contribute to our state's economy.
Al mismo tiempo, somos sede de varias empresas latinoamericanas de procesamiento de alimentos, farmacéuticas, químicas y automotrices que contribuyen en gran medida a la economía de nuestro estado.
We strongly believe that these relations are robust and vibrant and have only touched the tip of the iceberg.
Creemos firmemente que estas relaciones son sólidas y vibrantes y solo han tocado la punta del iceberg.
Considering the enormously critical role played by the technology and data in state's journey today, this is a great opportunity for every one of us to come together and address the challenges faced by the industry.
Teniendo en cuenta el papel enormemente crítico que desempeñan la tecnología y los datos en el viaje del Estado hoy, esta es una gran oportunidad para que cada uno de nosotros nos unamos y abordemos los desafíos que enfrenta la industria.
We also see the state growing further and beyond and be one of the major global players to house some of the best industrial capabilities and brand names who make in Maharashtra.
También vemos al Estado crecer más y más allá y ser uno de los principales actores globales para albergar algunas de las mejores capacidades industriales y marcas que hacen en Maharashtra.
Thus, there is definitely a tremendous potential to expand this cooperation to previously unexplored areas.
Por lo tanto, definitivamente existe un tremendo potencial para expandir esta cooperación a áreas previamente inexploradas.
I thank you once again for being a part of the accelerated growth part of Maharashtra and India at large, and I look forward to interacting with you soon. Jai Hind.
Les agradezco una vez más por ser parte del camino de crecimiento acelerado de Maharashtra y la INE en general, y espero poder interactuar con ustedes pronto.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ambalagan. It is very nice to hear from you about all these opportunities that you have described as CEO of Maharashtra Industrial Development Corporation. Congratulations for being so responsible with the industry. It is very important the relation you are having between Peru and Bolivia. It is a good opportunity for all of us to go to Maharashtra. You have described clearly all these opportunities. Of course, all the capabilities you have in Maharashtra as a best industrial development. Thank you so much. Now we are going to have the presentation of Mr. Lalit Candy. Mr. Lalit Candy has been increased all the business sector. He has been positioned in many organizations in the sector of trade and industries. He's been president of the Maharashtra Chambers of Commerce, Industry and Agro in Mumbai. He's been president in the Western Maharashtra Chambers of Commerce, Industrial, Agro and Education. In the national organization, he's been a secretary Confederation of All India Traders in New Delhi. Oh. He has been participating also in Prime Minister of India, Mr. Narendra Modi's delegation to Africa. He's been participating as well in President of India delegation. He's been representing in many government bodies. He's been participating in many international delegations as Tokyo, as India delegation in the Asian COP Summit at Thailand, in the USA, in Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Nepal. He's been founder chief patron in the International Trade Organization, JITO. He's been founder president in the Mahavir Education Society. He's been participating in many positions in the social commitments in education charitable organizations, and he has obtained many awards and recognitions. For example, in contributing in social and educational sectors, for contributing in social sectors, for contributing in the cooperative movement, for being member in the Planning Commission, for contributing in educational sector. Welcome, Mr. Lalit Candy. Please, you have 15 minutes. As we have done before, all the translation will be immediately. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Good morning and good evening to everybody. Today I would like to welcome His Excellency Mr. M. Subbaraidu, our respected Ambassador of India to Peru and Bolivia, Honorable Dr. P. Anabalgan, special guest of today's session and CEO of MIDC, Mr. Rohit Rao, President of INCHAM, my colleague and Chairman of Mastia's International Relations Committee, Mr. Manpreet Naji, Mr. Gajendra Badguzar, Director of our National Apex body, FICCI. On behalf of Maharashtra Chamber of Commerce, Industry and Agriculture, I would like to welcome and express my sincere gratitude to His Excellency Mr. Subbaraidu, Ambassador of India to Peru and Bolivia, and Dr. P. Anabalgan, CEO of MIDC, for having this virtual business interaction between the state of Maharashtra and Peru and Bolivia with Association of Maharashtra Apex Chamber, MASIA. I also heartily welcome you all for this event.
En nombre de la Cámara de Comercio, Industria y Agricultura de Maharashtra, me gustaría dar la bienvenida y expresar mi más sincero agradecimiento al excelentísimo señor Manpreet Subbaraidu, embajador de la India en Perú y Bolivia, y al doctor Anbalagan, director ejecutivo de Maharashtra Industrial Development Corporation, por tener esta interacción comercial virtual entre el estado de Maharashtra, Perú y Bolivia.
It is my indeed pleasure to introduce Maharashtra Chamber of Commerce, Industry and Agriculture as an apex chamber of the state founded in 1927 by the great visionary industrialist late Shet Walchand Hirachand, who has played a major role of what we see the Maharashtra today growing in industrialism and all the trade and economic activities in India. The chamber plays a pivotal role in supplementing and augmenting the efforts of government for the economic development of the state and advancement of its people.
Es un placer para mí presentar la Cámara de Comercio, Industria y Agricultura de Maharashtra, una cámara apex del Estado fundada en 1927 por el gran industrial visionario difunto Seth Walchand Hirachand. La Cámara desempeña un papel fundamental en la complementación y el aumento de los esfuerzos del gobierno para el desarrollo económico del Estado y el avance de su pueblo.
With more than 4,000 direct members comprising large, medium and small-scale industries, trader, agriculturists and professionals, as well as 850 trade and industry organizations, MASIA is the only chamber in Maharashtra which has deep roots in all 35 districts encompassing 355 talukas of Maharashtra and representing more than 7 lakh industrial units in Maharashtra.
Más de 4.000 socios directos, entre ellos grandes, medianas y pequeñas industrias, comerciantes, agricultores y profesionales. MASIA es la única cámara en Maharashtra que tiene raíces profundas en los 35 distritos que abarcan 355 talukas de Maharashtra.
Over the years, MASIA has made an effort to facilitate consultations between different stakeholders, including industry, policymakers, banking and financial institutions, and multilateral agencies to facilitate greater competitiveness for growth of industry in the state of Maharashtra. From technology upgradation to adoption of clean technology, new age marketing to innovative financing, we have tried our best to supplement MSME's efforts through focused capacity building programs.
A lo largo de los años, MASIA se ha esforzado por facilitar las consultas entre diferentes partes interesadas, incluida la industria, los formuladores de políticas, los bancos, las instituciones financieras y las agencias multilaterales para facilitar una mayor competitividad para el crecimiento de las industrias en el estado de Maharashtra. Desde la actualización tecnológica hasta la adopción de tecnología limpia, el marketing de la nueva era y el financiamiento innovador, hemos tratado de complementar los esfuerzos de las pequeñas y medianas empresas a través de programas enfocados en el desarrollo de capacidades.
To support the MSMEs, especially women entrepreneurs, MASIA is planning to launch 6 excellence centers in each region, having an objective to make a vibrant entrepreneurial ecosystem through an enabling network of industry collaborations, partnerships, mentors, and peer-to-peer connect. This will greatly help industries and business in production process, technology, tool upgradation, skill development, market access, and quality enhancement.
Para apoyar a las MIPYMES y especialmente a las mujeres empresarias, Makia planea lanzar 6 centros de excelencia en cada región, con el objetivo de crear un ecosistema empresarial vibrante a través de una red habilitadora de colaboradores industriales, asociaciones, mentores y conexión entre pares. Esto ayudará a las industrias y empresas en los procesos de producción, tecnología, actualización de herramientas, desarrollo de habilidades, acceso al mercado, mejora de la calidad, entre otros.
We are pleased to inform you that the Maharashtra Industrial Development Corporation, popularly known as MIDC, has always welcomed the investors in Maharashtra with a red carpet treatment and improved its services based on industry's feedback. MIDC always plays a pivotal role in Maharashtra's industrial and economical growth. The Magnetic Maharashtra initiatives focus to reinvent the paradigms of investment promotion in the country and catapult Maharashtra to be the first trillion-dollar economy in India, with a proud leadership like Dr. P. Anbalgam as the CEO.
Nos complace informarles que la Corporación de Desarrollo Industrial de Maharashtra, MIDC, siempre ha recibido a los inversionistas en Maharashtra con una alfombra roja y ha mejorado sus servicios en función del feedback de las industrias. MIDC juega un papel fundamental en el crecimiento industrial y económico de Maharashtra. La iniciativa Magnetic Maharashtra se centra en reinventar el paradigma de la promoción de inversiones en el país y catapultar a Maharashtra a ser la primera economía de $1 trillón en la India.
To enhance the exports and providing opportunities to our members, we at Maharashtra Chamber regularly organizing various international business delegations. Some of the name, just to name some of these, to South Korea, Taiwan, Turkey, Thailand, and many more countries. We have signed almost 27 memorandum of understandings with different international associations and chamber of commerces of various countries.
Para mejorar las exportaciones y brindar oportunidades a los miembros de Makia, la Cámara ha organizado varias delegaciones comerciales internacionales como en Corea del Sur, Taiwán, Turquía y Tailandia, entre otros, así como ha firmado 27 memorandos de entendimiento con varias asociaciones internacionales y cámaras de comercio internacionales.
We are aware that many bilateral agreements have been signed by the two sides over the years, covering a wide range of areas which will definitely help to create many opportunities and forge trade partnerships between Maharashtra and now with Peru and Bolivia.
Somos conscientes de que las dos partes han firmado muchos acuerdos bilaterales a lo largo de los años, que cubren una amplia gama de áreas que definitivamente ayudarán a crear muchas oportunidades y forjar asociaciones comerciales, como por ejemplo en este caso con Perú y Bolivia.
This pandemic has affected business globally. Now with things getting normalized and businesses right on the track, we are looking forward for a fruitful interaction and fruitful association with Peru and Bolivia.
Esta pandemia ha afectado los negocios a nivel mundial. Ahora que las cosas se están normalizando y los negocios están en marcha, esperamos una interacción fructífera con los socios comerciales de Perú y Bolivia.
With these words, I once again urge you all to make an investment. We are eager to welcome you in the state of the Maharashtra, and we are committed to support the industries in the state and help them to grow faster, which eventually help us to accomplish our goal to be the first state to reach to trillion-dollar economy in India.
Con estas palabras, una vez más los insto a todos a hacer una inversión en Maharashtra y estamos comprometidos a apoyar a las industrias en el estado y ayudarlas a crecer más rápido, lo que eventualmente nos ayudará a lograr nuestra meta de ser el primer estado en llegar a una economía de trillones de dólares en la India.
Once again, I would like to thank all dignitaries, esteemed guests, speakers, partners, and participants for attending this program, and we are sure today's meeting will help promote trade and ties between both the countries and explore untapped opportunities. I would like to express my special thanks to His Excellency Ambassador Subbai Raidu for selecting Maharashtra as the first state in this type of discussion series in bilateral trade. Thank you all.
Una vez más, gracias a todos los estimados invitados, oradores, socios y participantes por asistir a este programa y estamos seguros de que la reunión de hoy ayudará a promover los lazos comerciales entre ambos países y a explorar oportunidades sin explotar.
Thank you so much, Mr. Gandhi. I think you have done a very good job as president of the Maharashtra Chamber of Commerce, Industry and Agriculture, MACIA. It has been so clear for us that the chambers has played an influential role in the economy of the state and has assisted and guided the government from time to time in framing policies for its economic progress, for example. It is very important also to know that you have already 4,000 direct members and you have celebrated 27 MOU, Member of Understanding, and have a good relation with 7 countries. Thank you so much for this invitation as well for all of us to do business with Maharashtra. And congratulations for having a good job and developing all these opportunities for all the people interested in investing and having a good relation with Peru and Bolivia. Thank you. Thank you. Now we have the presentation of Mr. Manpreet Naji from the International Relations Committee from Maharashtra Chambers of Commerce, Industry and Agriculture, MACIA as well. Mr. Manpreet has been educated as a business management in the Indian Institute of Management, Bangalore. Is a chemical engineer from the College of Engineering in Mumbai. As well, he has got an education program in Mumbai from Mechatronics Development Industry, paint and coatings specialization in IIT Mumbai, Chemiformatics University of Amsterdam in Netherlands, and has a degree also as intellectual property certification from the World Intellectual Property Organization in Geneva. He has a lot of experience working in different positions. For example, in Sunny Enterprises, he has been the CEO. In Ecofit India, the owner. In India and Middle East for Brasov International Film Festival and Marte Brasov International. In Romania, he has been the representative in 2012 to 2018. He has been a managing director in Rastrija Engineers, and now he is right now working in the global consultant PP projects. Welcome, Mr. Manpreet. Please, you have 15 minutes.
Thank you, Gabriela, for the introduction. First of all, I would like to thank His Excellency M. Subburaidu. Your Excellency, thank you for having us as Maharashtra Chamber of Commerce to present the state in this important event. I would also like to thank Shri P. Anbalangarji for showcasing the state in such the real light of the real state of Maharashtra. And of course, our President, Shri Lalit Candy for introducing the Chamber of Commerce and our activities.
Leo.
Sí, una consulta. ¿Van a colocar representación? Perfecto.
Dale. Go ahead, Manpreet.
Yeah, I'll just begin the presentation. Is the presentation visible?
Yes, Manpreet, go ahead. It is visible.
Okay. So, Maharashtra is your business partner. Yeah. So Maharashtra is your business partner and investment destination in India. We are the largest state, industrialized state in India. If you can see where in the map of India Maharashtra lies, it has an amazing coastline to the west of India. Maharashtra Chamber of Commerce, Industry and Agriculture is the apex chamber of the state. The Chamber plays a pivotal role in supplementing and augmenting the efforts of the government for the economic development of the state and advancement of the people of the state.
¿Dónde se encuentra Maharashtra? Como se puede ver en el mapa de India, Maharashtra se encuentra muy pegado a una línea costera muy útil para sus empresarios, entre otros. La Cámara de Comercio, Industria y Agricultura de Maharashtra, MACIA, es la cámara apex del Estado y la Cámara juega un papel fundamental en complementar y aumentar los esfuerzos del gobierno para el desarrollo económico del Estado y el progreso de su gente.
We are one of the most industrial states in India. Our major focus sectors are automobiles, pharmaceuticals, textiles, information and communication technology, and many more sectors that we have seen around us.
Maharashtra es el estado más industrial y sus sectores de principal enfoque son los automóviles, productos farmacéuticos, textiles, tecnología, información y comunicaciones y muchos más.
If we can have a snapshot of the state of Maharashtra and what it exports, as you can see from the screen, Maharashtra is the leading exporter in India till 2020 and the second largest in 2021. We have a share of nearly 23% of India's exports.
Maharashtra, un estado líder en exportación en India hasta 2020, es el segundo más grande en 2021, que constituye casi el 23% del total.
The total value of exports from Maharashtra is about $58 billion in 2021. The top exports from the state are pearls, precious stones, semi-precious stones, drug formulation, pharmaceuticals, biologicals, precious metals, jewelry, motor vehicles, spare parts, iron and steel, and related machinery.
El valor total de exportación de Maharashtra es de 58 billones de dólares en el año fiscal de 2020-2021. Los principales productos de exportación de Maharashtra son perlas, piedras preciosas y semipreciosas, formulaciones de medicamentos, biológicos, oro y otros metales preciosos, joyería, automóviles y siderurgia.
The top countries customers of Maharashtra for their exports are US, Hong Kong, UAE, Belgium, UK, China, Singapore, Mexico, and Germany. That being said, we also export to most of the countries of the world from Maharashtra. The FDI inflow in Maharashtra was more than USD 20,000 million between October 29 and December 2020. This is the highest among all states in India.
Los principales países a los que exporta Maharashtra son Estados Unidos, Hong Kong, Emiratos Árabes Unidos, Bélgica, Reino Unido, China, Singapur, México y Alemania, así como también otros países a lo largo del mundo. La entrada de IED de Maharashtra se situó en 21 mil millones de dólares entre octubre de 2019 y diciembre de 2020, el más alto entre todos los estados de la India.
As the CEO of MIDC, Sri Anbalangan, already mentioned that during Magnetic Maharashtra 2.0, concluded in June 2020, the state of Maharashtra attracted investments proposal for nearly 1.13 lakh crore, which is nearly 15 billion US dollars, and expects an employment of more than 2.5 lakh employees. As of 2020, the state has 37 export processing SEZs, which is the special economic zones, across various sectors that include textiles, food processing, footwear and leather products, and other multi-product zones, which include pharma and IT special economic zones.
Durante Magnetic Maharashtra 2.0 en junio de 2020, el Estado atrajo propuestas de inversión de aproximadamente 15,23 billones de dólares, con un empleo esperado de alrededor 2,5 lakh. A partir de octubre de 2020, el Estado tiene 37 zonas económicas especiales de exportación en varios sectores, incluidos textiles y prendas de vestir, alimentos, procesamiento, calzado y productos de cuero, multiproducto, farmacéuticas y de información tecnología.
If you see from the image, if you can see clearly, it is showing the state of and percentage of Maharashtra's exports versus the rest of the country. On average, as we see, it is nearly 23 to 24% of the entire country's export share, which has been steadily maintained and even expecting to go up in the next 3 years.
Como se puede observar claramente en el gráfico, en promedio, el porcentaje que representa Maharashtra de la exportación de India está situado entre 23 y 24% y se ha mantenido constante a lo largo de los años e incluso se espera un aumento en este porcentaje a futuro.
If you see the percentage share of the products that have been majorly exported over the last 5 years, we find the major share is pearls, precious and semi-precious stones, and other metals, followed closely by the drug formulations, biologicals, gold and other precious metals, iron and steel, motor vehicles and cars, and the parts thereof.
Como se puede observar en los top productos que son exportados en Maharashtra, las perlas, las preciosas, las seis preciosas stones, las piedras preciosas, son los que representan la mayor cantidad de exportaciones, seguido por los farmacéuticos, los biológicos, el oro, otros metales preciosos, joyería, entre otros.
As we see from the next image, it shows the snapshot of the country-wise exposure that Maharashtra has to the various parts of the world. The majorly we see as USA, followed by Hong Kong, UAE, Belgium, UK, China, Singapore, Mexico, and Germany.
Como se puede observar en el gráfico, se muestran los principales países con los que se realizan exportaciones en Maharashtra, comenzando con Estados Unidos, Hong Kong, los UAE, Belgium, United Kingdom, China, Singapur, México y Alemania.
When we talk about the details of various sectors, considering first the automobile sector, as you see from this image, this is where Maharashtra has progressed from going from a vehicle like the Ambassador to the vehicle of the Tatas that we see, the concept vehicles that is being developed today. Maharashtra has been at the forefront of development of the automobile sector throughout the world, not only in India. The auto sector has played a key role in the industrialization of the state of Maharashtra.
Maharashtra, el sector automotor ha jugado un papel clave en la industrialización del Estado, y no únicamente en Maharashtra, sino a lo largo de todo el mundo.
Every single segment of this sector, including the two-wheelers and three-wheelers, passenger cars, commercial vehicles, is represented in the state. As our Honorable Ambassador has already mentioned, that Bolivia and Peru have seen a lot of two-wheelers and three-wheelers from the state that you have already seen on your roads in Peru and Bolivia. The major automobile centers.
Todos los segmentos del sector, incluidos los vehículos de 2 y 3 ruedas, los turismos y los vehículos comerciales, están representados en el estado de Maharashtra. Estos también han sido vistos, como bien mencionaron previamente, por Perú y Bolivia en la pista.
The major automobile centers in the state include Pune, Nashik, Aurangabad, and Nagpur. Pune is home to the large players like Bajaj Auto, Daimler, Chrysler, Telco, while Nashik is home to India's largest multi-utility vehicle, which is Mahindra and Mahindra.
Los principales centros automovilísticos del estado incluyen Pune, Nashik, Aurangabad y Nagpur. Pune es el hogar de grandes jugadores como Bajaj Auto, Daimler, Chrysler, Telco, mientras que Nashik es el hogar del fabricante de vehículos multiusos más grandes de la India, Mahindra & Mahindra.
The state of Maharashtra accounts for approximately 40% of the country's automobile output by value, and around 40% of the workforce engaged in the automobile industry in India is employed by the state. The major automobile centers I have already mentioned are Pune, Nashik, Aurangabad, and Nagpur.
El estado representa aproximadamente el 38% de la producción de automóviles del país por valor. Alrededor del 40% de la mano de obra dedicada a la industria del automóvil está empleada en el estado de Maharashtra. Los principales centros automovilísticos del estado incluyen Pune, Nashik, Aurangabad y Nagpur, como mencionado previamente.
The next major sector that Maharashtra state is home to is the pharmaceutical sector. We have some of the largest brands of the world manufacturing and producing in the state, including Wockhardt, Sun Pharma, Lupin, Cipla, Abbott, Pfizer, Merck, GSK, Johnson, and even Glenmark.
Ya. El sector farmacéutico de Maharashtra es uno de los más grandes. Incluye jugadores fuertes como por ejemplo Wockhardt, Cipla, Abbott, Merck, Johnson Johnson, entre otros.
Maharashtra has the largest and highest number of US FDA-approved plants in India. The state pharma quadrilateral consists of Mumbai, Pune, Nasik, and Aurangabad zone.
Maharashtra tiene el mayor número de plantas aprobados por la FDA de Estados Unidos en la India. El cuadrilátero farmacéutico del estado consta de la zona de Mumbai, Pune, Nashik y Aurangabad.
The state of Maharashtra also has an exclusive biopharma park called the Serum Biopharma Park in Pune. As our CEO of MIDC already informed, that we are also manufacturing the COVID vaccine in the state of Maharashtra.
El estado tiene un parque biofarmacéutico exclusivo llamado Serum Biopharma Park en Pune. Así como fue mencionado previamente, también se están realizando fabricación de vacunas contra el COVID.
There are special economic zones in Aurangabad and Nanded, which are specific to pharma industry. Over 3,000 pharma units have been set up in Maharashtra till date, with corporate offices in and around the state of Maharashtra. Nearly 350 drug units, nearly 700 formulation units, and various manufacturing units form the major pharma hubs in the state of Maharashtra.
Hay zonas farmacéuticas especiales en Aurangabad y Nanded. Más de 3.000 unidades farmacéuticas se han establecido en Maharashtra hasta la fecha, con oficinas corporativas en y alrededor del estado de Maharashtra. Hay 347 unidades de medicamentos a granel, 693 unidades de formulación y varias unidades de fabricación de los principales centros farmacéuticos.
Another major textile sector, which is in the state, has been a major employment generator and export processing zone in our state and forms a major part of the country. Maharashtra has exclusive textile parks, which are 11 in number, 1 in Amravati, 3 in Thane, 2 in Solapur, 1 each in Kolhapur, Nasik, Nagpur, Pune, and Nandurbar, with each one having R&D laboratories, trade centers, training centers, and management development centers attached with them.
El sector textil de Maharashtra es uno de los mayores del país y cuenta con 11 parques textiles exclusivos, 1 en Amratavi, 3 en Thane, 2 en Solapur, 1 en Kolhapur, Nashik, Nagpur, Pune y Nandurbar, cada uno con laboratorios, centros comerciales, centro de información y centro de desarrollo de gestión.
The state of Maharashtra accounts for 65 million kg of cotton production, which is 25% of our country's total. Ichalkaranji, Bhiwandi, Malegaon are the main textile hubs of the state of Maharashtra, where cloth is produced using cotton grown in Vidarbha and Marathwada regions. According to some industry experts, there are approximately 10 lakh textile units across the state, with more than 50 lakh people depending on them.
Maharashtra representa alrededor de 65 millones de kilogramos de producción de algodón, que es el 25% del total del país. Ichalkaranji, Bhiwandi y Malegaon son los centros textiles de Maharashtra, donde se produce tela con algodón cultivado en las regiones de Vidarbha y Marathwada. Según los expertos de la industria, hay aproximadamente 1 millón de unidades textiles en todo el estado, con más de 5 millones de personas que dependen de ellas.
The state government has given impetus to the textile sector with the new textile policy from 2018 to 2023. It planned to create 10 lakh jobs in the 5-year period and double the farmers' income by 2023. A major point has been achieved, a milestone has been achieved during this period, with several investor-friendly benefits, especially in terms of power subsidies. And it is expected that the textile sector would attract investments worth 36,000 crore. Further, there is emphasis on invigorating the garment, knitting, textile, hosiery sector, which would benefit the women who form a major part of the workforce in the textile sector.
El gobierno de Maharashtra ha dado impulso al sector textil con la nueva política textil 2018-2023. Su objetivo era crear más de 1 millón de puestos de trabajo en el periodo de 5 años y duplicar los ingresos de los agricultores para el año 2023. Con varios beneficios favorables para los inversores, especialmente en términos de subsidios a la energía, se espera que el sector textil atraiga inversiones por valor de 360.000 millones de dólares. Además, se hace hincapié en dinamizar el sector de la confección, el tejido y la calcetería, lo que beneficiaría a las mujeres que constituyen una parte importante de los trabajadores del Estado.
And of course, Mumbai is known as one of the fashion capitals of the world. Information and communications technology is another sector which is growing by leaps and bounds. The state of Maharashtra accounts for more than 30% of the country's software exports, with over 1,200 software units based in the state, and it provides a familiar and friendly environment to the IT companies.
El sector de tecnología de información y comunicaciones en Maharashtra se encuentra en un crecimiento exponencial. Maharashtra representa más del 30% de las exportaciones de software del país, con más de 1.200 unidades de software ubicadas en el estado, lo que proporciona un entorno familiar y amigable para las empresas de tecnología de información.
Maharashtra retains the top spot among the states for the most employable talent in the current scenarios India Skills Report 2022, which was launched this month. The government of Maharashtra has recognized the IT industry as an important thrust area of the state.
Maharashtra conserva el primer puesto entre los estados con mayor talento empleable en 2022, según el informe India Skills 2022 lanzado este mes. El gobierno de Maharashtra ha reconocido a la industria de tecnología de información como un área de impulso importante en el estado.
Pune and Mumbai have a share of more than $8 billion, and Nasik, Nagpur, Aurangabad, Kolhapur are the new developing centers for the industry of information communication technology.
Pune y Mumbai tienen una participación de más de 8.000 millones de dólares y Nagpur, Nashik, Aurangabad y Kolhapur son los nuevos centros de desarrollo de la industria en Maharashtra.
The state has dedicated development and training centers like CDAC and IIT Mumbai, which give you skilled manpower and training in this industry. Maharashtra has the highest penetration of active internet users in India, which is more than 60%. Almost the entire IT staff has been in the work from home mode since the beginning of the pandemic in 2020. And companies have been saying that the future will have a hybrid model. And this has been successfully been implemented in the state of Maharashtra with its technological capabilities and support from the government.
El estado tiene institutos de desarrollo y capacitación dedicados como CDAC e IIT Mumbai. Maharashtra tiene la penetración más alta de usuarios activos de Internet en India, con un 61%. Casi todo el personal de tecnología de información ha estado en modo de trabajo remoto desde el comienzo de la pandemia en marzo de 2020, y las empresas han estado diciendo que el futuro tendrá un modelo híbrido de trabajo.
And with this, I welcome you to the state of Maharashtra, and also would like to inform you that Maharashtra contributes to nearly 15% of the GDP of India. We invite you to be part of this growth journey, and we welcome you to Magnetic Maharashtra. And thank you so much. And these are the contact details of our secretariat for any communication.
Se les da la bienvenida a Maharashtra, que a su vez aporta alrededor del 15% del Producto Bruto Interno de la India, y te invitamos para ser parte de este viaje de crecimiento. Asimismo, muchas gracias a todos los asistentes.
Thank you so much, Mr. Manpreet. You have shared a lot of good and very interesting information. It is very important.
Gabriela. Thank you so much.
No, thanks to you. It is very important to know how important Maharashtra industries are for the whole country, and not only for the whole country, for the whole world, actually. It is very important, as you described before, your automobile sector development I'm very surprised of the development of the pharmaceutical sector as well. Now that we are in this pandemic, what is very important you to have this development, and also having the possibilities of getting the serum biopharma for the vaccine of COVID. And not only that, you have described very good positions in your textile sector. And congratulations for having a very good expectations for the women in this important industry. Also, it is very important that you have communication and information about the technology that we are all going to need for having our probably new world after this pandemic, and this is going to be very important. And also, it's good to know that you have the 30% of the country's software. Thank you so much, Mr. Manpreet. Now we are going to welcome to Mr. Gahendra. Mr. Gahendra is the director of the Federation of Indian Chambers of Commerce and Industry, FICCI. Mr. Gahendra has more than 2 decades of experience in international relations. He leads FICCI's initiatives in promoting economic relations between India and East Asia, Japan, China, Korea, etc., and Latin America and Caribbean regions, besides contributing in other regional multilateral institutional platforms like BRICS, Pacific Alliance, and others. Established in 1927, FICCI is the voice of India's business and industry in India. Its history is closely interwoven with India's struggle for independence, its industrialization, and its emergence as one of the most rapidly growing global economies. A non-government, not-for-profit organization, FICCI enjoys an indirect membership of thousands of companies from various regional chambers of commerce. Welcome, Mr. Naji.
Thank you. Thanks for this great introduction. And one of the benefits of speaking, being one of the last speakers, is that you don't have to speak too much. And besides this, I would like to actually thank Embassy for giving me this opportunity. Is somebody translating, or shall I continue?
No, continue the presentation. He'll translate your presentation, Gajendra.
Okay. So great. First of all, I would like to thank Embassy.
You are muted.
Yeah, because we sincerely believe that states are where the action is, and such state or state-specific sessions are very, very important in promoting relations, bilateral economic relations with other countries. So I compliment Indian Embassy. I would also like to welcome and thank Dr. Anbal Gun, CEO MIDC, for making a great presentation about Maharashtra, and also Mr. Lalit Candy, President Maharashtra Chamber, and Mr. Manpreet Naji, Maharashtra Chamber, just before Manpreet Singh before me. So now I would just like to take you through a brief presentation on basically those three sectors, very sector specific in presentation. Let me just load that presentation. Is this presentation visible?
Yes, Gajendra, go ahead.
Okay. So I think before going to the India growth story, which I have been asked by the embassy to make a presentation on, I would just like to give a brief about FICCI, which is the largest industry body of India and represent close to 300,000 companies all across India, including Maharashtra.
Ahora sí, Leo.
And
Okay. So, antes de ir a la historia de crecimiento de la India, quisiera hacer una presentación sobre FICCI y su historia.
yeah, we serve the Indian industry or industry members through our close to 80 sectoral teams and special institutions like resource conservation management. In fact, Invest India was also sort of started or conceptualized at FICCI, and now it has become the premier investment agency of not only India but of the world.
FICCI se ha convertido en uno de los centros de inversión más grandes, no solamente en India, sino en el mundo, mediante centros especializados, entre otras cosas.
So we have similar such institutions and specialized services like FICCI Ladies Organization and different other institutions in different sectors.
Cuentan con sectores especiales como FICCI Ladies Organizations y bueno, en otros sectores también.
Okay. Now let me just come to the structured presentation which I have made. So basically here I would like to just give three main what I call is triple D, what is demography, democracy and demand.
Veremos lo que es una triple D, que es demografía, democracia y demarcación.
So I think you can see from my presentation, we have the second largest internet user in the world in India. We are the youngest nation in terms of age, and I think even till 2025 we will have the average age of 29 years. We have urban population of close to 400 million. We are the largest railway network in the world, second largest road network in the world, and in fact we are also adding close to 150 million people to the middle class by 2025. Our consumer market, which is one of the major attraction, is expanding and which is expected to touch 3.6 trillion USD by 2025. I think we have already learned about the skilled labor force in Maharashtra specific, but even across India, we expect to have good literate and skilled labor force all across in India. And then coming to the strategic location that India has, we have access to at least 15 emerging economies around India.
La historia de crecimiento de la India. Cuenta con 700 millones de usuarios de Internet, que es lo segundo más grande del mundo. Tiene la nación más joven, con 29 años de edad promedio esperado para 2025. Tiene una población urbana de casi 400 millones, en la cual cada 30 personas se desplazan cada minuto a zonas urbanas. Cuenta con la segunda red ferroviaria más grande del mundo, en la cual viajan 23 millones de personas cada día. Es la segunda red de carreteras más grande del mundo, con 3.3 millones de kilómetros. Una movilidad ascendente, con 150 millones más agregados a la clase media para 2025 esperado. Mercado de consumo en expansión, con 3.6 trillones de dólares esperados para 2025. Una mano de obra calificada con 99% de tasa de alfabetización esperada para el año 2025, así como una ubicación geográfica estratégica con acceso a más de 15 economías emergentes para abastecimiento y mercado.
So this explains the triple D advantages of India. Now I come to my, I think this still continues, and in terms of infrastructure investment worth more than rupees INR 50 trillion across different infrastructure by 2022. And in fact, and how have we done it? I think we have We could do this by improving the ease of doing business. And in fact, from 2014, when the Modi government came, we were at 142nd position, and now we have improved, jumped by over 79 position, and are currently 63rd in terms of World Bank's ease of doing business. We are still, though some growth has been tapered off by the COVID constraints, but we are still one of the fastest growing economies of the world. And in terms of FDI also, we attracted close to 70 billion US dollar in the first 9 months from April to December 2020. Even in the innovation index, we jumped rank 4 positions and are currently on the rank 48 in the global innovation index. And yes.
Sí. Ha habido un aumento sustancial en la inversión en infraestructura, que cuenta con una inversión por el valor de 668 billones de dólares en infraestructura para el 2022. India sube 79 posiciones del puesto 142 de 63 en el ranking de facilidad para hacer negocios del Banco Mundial 2020. Una de las economías más rápido de crecimiento, aún y con la pandemia del COVID, India atrajo la entrada de IED más alta en la historia, con casi 70.000 millones de dólares durante los primeros 9 meses de abril-diciembre de 2020 y el año fiscal 2020-21. India salta 4 posiciones y ocupa el puesto 48 en el ranking del Índice de Innovación Global 2020, así como salta 8 posiciones en el Índice de Competitividad Global 2020.
Thank you. Now I will come to sector specific, because I've been asked to focus on engineering and capital goods. So if you see the presentation slide here, the Indian market for engineering and capital good is expected to reach $115 billion by 2025. And in fact, the exports is expected to reach close to 200 billion by 2030. It is engineering sector is one of the largest industrial sector of India, and it represents 63% of total foreign investment in India. So even in terms of foreign investment, it is one of the most attractive sector in India. And 100% of FDI is allowed via automatic route in this sector.
El mercado indio se estimó en 90.000 millones de dólares en 2019 y se espera que alcance los 115 billones de dólares para 2025. Se espera que la exportación de bienes de ingeniería alcance los 200.000 millones de dólares para 2030. El sector de la ingeniería es el sector industrial más grande de la India y representa el 63% de las inversiones extranjeras totales en la India. De acuerdo a UNCTAD, India se ubicó en los 10 principales receptores de IED en 2019 y necesita 3.36 billones de inversión en infraestructura en la próxima década 2020-2029, así como cuenta con un 100% de permiso de IED vía ruta automática.
Now I come to textiles and apparel sector. As I already mentioned, and in fact it was also visible in Maharashtra state presentation, India is very strong in textiles, and it is world's largest producer of both textiles as well as apparels. And it also provides huge employment in India and contributes close to 5. In fact, its contribution to country's GDP is 5%. And 12% to the total exports. And this sector as such is expected to reach $190 billion by 2025-26. So you can easily see the potential this sector has, and there are several growth drivers in this, because we have huge raw material, abundant raw material. The value chain, textile industry is one of the oldest industry in India, so the value chain is very, very strong, and the manufacturing cost is very competitive. And with the availability of skilled labor force and the continuous spread of organized retail and malls and other e-commerce platforms, we expect this to grow further. And in fact, government has also announced production linked incentive scheme in man-made fiber and technical textiles. So I think these growth drivers will only take this sector further, and I think the companies or industry in this particular sector from Peru and Bolivia can take advantage of this and mm, do business with India.
En cuanto a textiles y prendas de vestir, son los mayores productores mundiales de textiles y prendas de vestir, con una contribución del 5% al Producto Bruto Interno del país, con 12% de los ingresos de exportación del país. El segundo mayor empleador del país, proporcionando empleo directo a 45 millones de personas y 100 millones de personas en industrias afines. Se espera que la industria textil y de la confección de la India alcance los 190.000 millones para 2025-2026. Se espera que la exportación de textiles y prendas de vestido de la India alcance los 100.000 millones de dólares en los próximos 5 años. En cuanto a los controladores de crecimiento, hay una gran abundancia de materia prima, una cadena de valor existente, costo de fabricaciones competitivos, disponibilidad de mano de obra calificada, como mencionaba anteriormente, panorama minorista organizado y comercio electrónico, y hace no mucho se creó un esquema de incentivos vinculados a la producción en fibras artificiales y textiles técnicos con un desembolso financiero de 106.000 millones de dólares bajo el paquete Atmanirbhar Bharat.
It's Atmanirbhar Bharat, but it's okay.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. Which is actually self-sufficient India. So now this is the third very important slide, and I think the importance of which has only highlighted during this COVID crisis which we all faced. And I think this sector has given a lot of hope, and not only to India but also to the world. So I think the contribution of this sector can we cannot discount the contribution of this sector in India. So because we are largest producer of generic drugs, and I think we have also contributed, government of India has also contributed to the vaccine availability through world, whether it is through the vaccine mitra policy of government of India. So we supply close to 50% of global demand of different vaccines. And in fact, as mentioned in the Maharashtra Chamber slide, Serum Institute, which is the largest vaccine manufacturer, is based out of Maharashtra. And in fact, the government has also recognized both these and the vaccine manufacturers, and they have also been awarded the highest civilian award in India, both to Serum Institute as well as to Bharat Biotech, who are the largest vaccine manufacturers in India. And in terms of the volume, we are the third in the world, and in terms of by value, we are 14th in the world. And we have a very strong network of more than 3,000 drug companies and close to 11,000 manufacturing units in India. And I think you can easily see that India's domestic pharmaceutical market size is close 42 billion USD last year, and is likely to reach 65 billion by 2024. And this sector is growing at a very good rate. In addition, even the medical devices sector is currently about 11 billion USD, and it is expected to increase by 37% and reach 50 billion by 2025. Again, here also 100% of FDI is allowed under automatic route for manufacturing of medical devices. And when I mention the growth drivers, again, strong innovation and R&D, medical tourism. I'm just coming, in fact, I just finished one important session on Indian Ayush and cooperation with LAC region, and medical tourism. Even there was one of the important segment. And then we have strong drug manufacturing, and obviously being the second most populous country, we have a strong domestic market.
En cuanto al sector de productos farmacéuticos de la India, es uno de los más importantes y sobre todo debido a la pandemia de COVID es uno de los que nos trae una mayor esperanza. India ha sido uno de los responsables por distribuir las vacunas alrededor de todo el mundo y son los mayores productores mundiales de medicamentos genéricos. Asimismo, abastecen el 50% de la demanda mundial de diversas vacunas. India se encuentra en el puesto 3 en términos de producción farmacéutica por volumen y 14 por valor. Tiene una red nacional de 3.000 compañías farmacéuticas y más de 10.500 unidades de fabricación. El 80% de los medicamentos antirretrovirales utilizados en todo el mundo para combatir el SIDA son suministrados por India. El mercado farmacéutico nacional de India se estima en $42.000 millones en 2021 y es probable que alcance los $65.000 millones en 2024. El mercado de dispositivos médicos de la India se estima en $10,36 mil millones en el año fiscal 20 y se espera que aumente a una CAGR del 37% entre 2020 y 2025 para alcanzar los $50.000 millones. Como mencionado anteriormente, una IED permitida hasta el 100% bajo la ruta automática. Y en cuanto a controles de crecimiento, innovación, turismo médico, desarrollo de infraestructura, fuerte fabricación de medicamentos y mercado interno fuerte.
I think this is my small brief presentation here, and this finishes with this presentation. And we at FICCI are available for any such initiative, or whether it is to state policymakers in Maharashtra or any other state, or our mission in Peru and Bolivia. And so we are available both to industry as well from both the countries. And my details I will share with you, Raghuvirji, and maybe it can be distributed to all concerned. Thanks.
Muchas gracias a los asistentes y en FICCI estamos disponibles ante todos ustedes y a su vez voy a entregar mis detalles para que puedan contactarme y muchas gracias.
Thank you so much, Mr. Gajendra. It is not really a brief presentation, but it's so important. Even that we are talking different languages, it's really grateful to have you sharing these numbers. Actually, it's very important to see that you have the second largest networking of the world, of the country, sorry. And I would like to congratulate that you as India has jumped of 8 places on the Global Competitiveness Index for 2020, as well as doing business in the competitive range as well. It is very important to see that you export engineering, 200 billion, are expecting for 2030. It is a very important number for the whole world, actually, no? In textiles and apparels, it's very important to know that you are the world's largest producers of textile and apparels as well. And of course, the most important probably right now is that you have become the supply of the 50% of global demand for the vaccines. We are depending on your country right now for including more vaccines for fighting this pandemic. Thank you so much for your information. Now I'm gonna introduce Mr. Gonzalo Salcedo. Mr. Gonzalo Salcedo is a very important commercial actor in doing business with India and Peru. Welcome, Mr. Salcedo.
Good morning to everyone. Thank you very much for the invitation and the opportunity to be part of this important event. Greetings to Mr. Rahit Rao for the invitation, and Gabriela for that presentation too. Allow me to introduce myself. I'm Gonzalo Salcedo, commercial consultant of the International Business Network, RIN for the section in Spanish, which is an organization that facilitates contact between supply and demand business opportunities, right? We have been working together with INCHAM a couple years ago, And today I'm here to present just a small speech for a sales opportunity for a Peruvian company in the metal mechanics sector. It's a company with more than 40 years of experience in the field, which is their own plant dedicated to the repair of ceramic molds, ceramic pans repairs, and other surfaces, including steel. In addition, the company has important clients in the industry with excellent results in recent years, important numbers, and it's in process of modernizing the entire plant to incorporate new technologies, especially for their important clients. And any information and contact, if you wish more information about this opportunity, feel free to contact me. Mr. Rahid will bring you my details, especially contact information. And thank you again for this opportunity, and have a good day.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Now we are going to introduce Mr. Rohit Rao, President of INCHAM, India Peru Chambers of Commerce, for the closing and remarks for these events. Welcome, Rohit.
Thank you very much, Gabriela. Thank you, the Ambassador, Mr. Subaraidu, always including INCHAM in all the future progress with India. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Dr. Anbalagan, for your fantastic and clear speech on Maharashtra. Well, I'm a Mumbaiite, born in Mumbai, but since 32 years, I'm in Latin America. Just feel like taking all my bags and going back to Maharashtra and shift our industries of Latin America to India. It's been a fantastic curve that I've seen for last 32 years. We ourselves being into pharma industry, we've done a fantastic job with different companies in India. And thank you very much, Mr. Lalit Candy, for a clear presentation on maybe very soon in CHAM and your chamber, we can sign some sort of MOU. So we can also keep on promoting the Indian business, the Maharashtra business with Peru and Bolivian business together. And definitely thank you, Manpreet and Gajendra, for your fantastic presentations. And I really appreciate what you guys have taken your time for a small country like us to really show what is around. We will definitely, as INCHAM, keep on passing on all the information to all the chambers we are member of. And I'd like to give you a quick and a small information, something which maybe in the Indian manufacturing future can think over. Raft Motors from India, they're also in Maharashtra, the biggest electric motorcycles of India, have decided to put a assembly plant in Peru. So they're into final stages. And I think this is going to give a big boost for Maharashtra to see that this chapter of fill finish in our country in Peru will make a big difference for promoting in all Latin American countries this type of businesses. Trade will continue. There's no doubt about it. Definitely business will go on, but the future is going to be something like this, some sort of fill finish, some sort of making 90% of the parts in India, assembling in Peru. We have a good metal mechanic industry. We have a good pharma industry. The raw material has really been coming a lot here. Textile industry, why should we not talk about? It's something which is really growing and will keep on growing because Peru has got free trade agreement with a lot of countries in the world. All the products manufactured here goes into US, Europe, Latin America, Caribbean, Asia Pacific without taxes. So there's a huge opportunity on both sides. Our bags to India definitely are going to go, and definitely later on, your bags to Peru are also welcome. So thank you very much, sir. Thank you for everything, and I'm sure we'll do a fantastic job together and having a nice connection between these two chambers. Thank you, sir. Thank you, and have a good evening to you. I'm sure you guys must be hungry, and we have to rush for our work. Bye-bye. Have a good day.
Thank you, Rohit ji.
Thanks,
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Rohit ji.